your first client paid you $20 for funnel designing and everything, and now you charge around 3,500, 7,500. So how has that journey been? Like,
I don't come from the background of funnels. I come from the background of just simply design and multimedia, like video editing and stuff like that.
maybe the funnel is not working for me and all those things. So somewhere it happened that things are like people started getting skeptic to invest into in like the entire online thing. So has that changed for you, or is it still going same?
Funnels can perfectly do that for you. A personal brand can perfectly do that for you. Websites can do that for you. Social media can do that for you. Email can do that for you.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of No Filters, Just Founders. Today with us I have Pedro. He is founder of Funnel Genius. He have worked with around 200 people and built them some amazing design funnels. Also, he has around 2,000 people in his community whom he have coached. He has generated around 500K to millions for his clients and also for himself. So there are a lot of things we are going to discuss about him. And if you don't know about him, first thing I would ask you to do is check out this guy, check out the funnels he have designed and awesome designs that he have done. But right now, I'm so happy to have him on our podcast. Hi, Pedro. How are you? Thank you so much for being over here.
Absolutely, my pleasure to be here. It's always great to share the journey so that other can also not only just resonate but also learn from other people's experiences. I know that I've watched tons and tons of podcasts as well, so it's a pleasure being here.
Thank you so much. We are pumped to have you here, and we are going to discuss a lot of things. But first thing that I do with my podcast guest is that I ask them who they think they are. Like, for example, we know Pedro as a guy who designed amazing funnels, beautiful designs, but that's what we know. Who do you think, according to you, is Pedro?
Well, so I mean that question is even to I don't even know the correct answer to that. I think that it's like uh, a goal for myself to try to discover that in the next few decades maybe. But simply Pedro is just a guy that's trying to do good and trying to use what I love to do to impact positively other people's lives as well. So I've always loved to share what I know, what I learn, to help other people, and that's what I keep doing in my journey, whether it's from funnels or client acquisition or even just other stuff, like other smaller stuff on how to make it happen. So pretty much that's what who Pedro is.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. And when I was, when I used to read your post, I remember I came across a post that said that, you started your journey of funnel designing with $20 client. Like your first client paid you $20 for funnel designing and everything, and now you charge around 3,500, 7,500. So how has that journey been like for so long? I guess I'm not sure when you started it. I guess it was around 20. I remember you in 2020, there was a post that I designed custom funnels. So, and from there to seeing you now over here, how has that journey been?
So it's a lot of ups and downs, just like any entrepreneur life or journey. It's been overall amazing, one of the best journeys that I've ever experienced. I don't come from the background of funnels. I come from the background of just simply design
Wow.
multimedia, like video editing and stuff like that. And then I experienced, when I started funnels, I was pretty much working for five gyms. I was building their social media. It was a lot of work. I was working really, really a lot of hours, and the switch from that to building funnels was just really amazing. Funnels, were allowed me to combine two things that I love the most in terms of work, not life but
Mhm.
work, which is sales, marketing, and design. So just combine those two
Um,
things into one, and then I just started to become better and better and better, and try to learn as much as possible from everybody that would gladly share that information with me. So ups and downs, but mostly a really, really great experience that I intend to continue better, better, and better.
Yeah, we see that experience, everywhere. And I can see you as a person who is a constant learner. Every post of yours shows that, you admit it by yourself that, I didn't knew this. Like, for example, I didn't knew about copywriting and I had to learn it. And, then I was able to charge better. And it always gives an idea that, okay, Pedro is a person who always learns. Diving into the funnels, I would like to ask you now. We see you designing beautiful funnels, and they are some of the amazing designs I have seen. But how do you navigate between designing beautiful funnels and also, make them like highly converting? Because a lot of time, what happens is people design very amazing funnels, but the conversion aspect is not there. So how do you do that simultaneously?
Right. So that is, for me right now, that is kind of simple because I always start with the most fundamental part, which is user experience. So the user
Mm,
experience involves the experience, right? So it involves going through the storytelling, going through the page. So it's a combination of understanding the goal of the page, right?
mm,
So I usually
mm,
like to simplify it with they either want to generate more leads or they want to make more sales. So that's the main goal, and sharing the story or how we tell the story to make that happen. Okay, so if you want to
mm,
get more people to join our list, we want to motivate them. If you want to make them buy, we want to feel them the transformation, the change, what that information is going to allow them to become in the next 3 months, 6 months,
mm,
12
mm.
months. So I always start with the experience, and then I try to tell the story in chapters, which are sections, different
Right.
sections of the funnel,
Mhm.
and I try to make them as good as possible without neglecting the user experience. So this is
Mhm.
as simple as that, but it requires a lot of experience, and
Right.
not just experience but practice. Okay, so I can dive a little bit deeper there if you want me to,
Yeah,
but
yeah, sure.
in sense, that's pretty much about it. Understand what is the most crucial part of the storytelling, enhancing that with design, and then making the user experience as smooth as possible.
I see. I would actually like you to dive into this because,
Mhm.
it seems very simple to hear, but I'm pretty much sure that, there are a lot of aspects to it. So we
Yeah.
can deep dive into it and see what we can uncover.
Absolutely. So the most fundamental thing in any user experience
Mm-hmm.
is when we land on the page to identify exactly if this is for us. This is something interesting for me as a user, right? So we want to make sure, or I want to make sure that the whenever people land on the page, they understand
Right.
what it is, who is it for, and how in fact, like what's the main goal, what I'm going to get from the page. And then for that, with design, we want to make sure that we redirect people's attention to the
Mm-hmm.
most important element of the page, and then the second most important, and the third most important. So we are always with design, with hierarchy, contrast, white space, and all that stuff. We are always making sure that we redirect their attention to the right place. Okay, that's the first component. The second component is information retention. So basically, what is the most important thing? Let's say that it is the goal, which is, I don't know, I'm going to give you an example. Learn how to make or how to build beautiful funnels. That's the main goal. We want to teach people how
Mm-hmm.
to learn how to build beautiful funnels. And it's to generate leads, right? So we need
Right.
fast action, get them excited and to move fast. So
Yeah.
the visual component in the image in the retention should be that I am going to be able to learn how to build beautiful funnels that convert. That should be the
Mm-hmm.
main retention. So everything throughout the page, everything like the most important elements should add layers to how that is going to happen without them having to spend 20 minutes of the page. So I tell the story through the headlines. I make sure that I use contrast to highlight a few keywords of the storytelling, right? And this is something that I've learned when I was, in school. That every story has a beginning and the development, the middle of the story, and then the end of the story. So I want to make sure that people understand the narrative, beginning, development, and ending or goal, uh, through those keywords, through those headlines. Okay.
Mm.
And then boost the emotion with the images. So images are very, very important components because, as most people say, an image is worth more than 1,000 words. So you want to make sure that you use images to boost the emotion of future pacing, what people are going to be or become in the future, of what people are feeling. So if they are feeling frustrated and we are enhancing that frustration in the copy, we want to make sure that we enhance the frustration in the image as well. And
Mm.
then as we tell the story, we we make them feel more powerful, more you know hyped up, happy to join, to be part of the movement, and and fulfill the goal, which is just the action, the next action. So this could be like a 2-hour masterclass, but it's like making sure that the goal is there, people understand the main keywords, the main
Right.
purpose of it, the beginning of the story, the middle of the story, and how things happen, etc. And then the purpose, the goal, the CTA. Copy should be there, telling the story through the main headlines.
Mm.
Design should highlight the main keywords, and imaging design should help people feel the emotions that we want through the copy. So that's pretty much about it.
It's really cool. One more thing is that what do you think is highlight of the entire funnel for you? Like, is it the design? Is it the copy? What do you think is the highlight?
So the highlight of everything is going to be, you know, copy, but
Mm-hmm.
copy as a whole, it's a lot of stuff. So the main part is having copy that gets people's attention, and
Mm.
then gets them the information that they need to become better at what they want to become. So how to build better funnels, right? We want to make sure that we captivate their attention through
Mm.
copy. Design is going to do that, but copy is going to maintain them there.
Right.
And then we want to display the information using good design. So as far as the hierarchy, if I had to choose a hierarchy of importance, I would say that offer is the most important one, then
Mm.
copy is the second most important one, then design is the third most important one. But all of them, are super super important to master.
I agree.
Um, and there's also a different component, right? Which is in design, it's the first impression. So if your
Mm.
first impression is bad, you need to work really hard in the copy. If your
Right.
first impression is amazing, your copy is going to perform a lot better just because of that first impression. So when you land on a page and the page looks like a scam, those typical scam
Mm.
pages, your copy needs to work really hard to get you to move on. If it looks like you know the most beautiful experience and branding, and it looks very pleasant, the copy doesn't need to work as hard, although it's still important.
Uh,
So that's why for me it's difficult to place a hierarchy of importance, because every single element has their own role and their own level of significance. But of course, offer is always first, because if the offer is bad, then you can try to embellish it as much as possible. You can still make it successful, but you know you're gonna
mm.
have a harder time. So basically, if I had to put it in one phrase, if the offer isn't as good, the copy needs to work harder. If the design isn't as good, the copy needs to work even harder. So if you have a bad copy, a bad offer, the copy needs to be working really hard. If on top of that you have bad design, the copy needs to really, really work really hard. And then, if your copy is bad, everything falls apart. So offer,
Yeah.
copy, and then design afterwards.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. One more thing, since we are deep diving into this, how do you make sure that like the copy of your funnels is not getting diluted, or, like it's not getting suffocated in the design? Because sometimes what happens is the design is so crazy that somewhere the messaging, the copy, somewhere it gets lost. So how do you make sure that it doesn't happen?
by prioritizing what's important.
Hmm.
So copy, the message is always the most important thing. And what happens is when I started, I see this happening all the time, but when I started, I was so focused on how can I enhance the design. Then
Hmm.
what happened was the copy was becoming secondary. So you don't
Hmm.
want to do this. Like I see this all the time with the when designers want to build fancy designs, so because they believe fancy is going to attract more and stuff like that. They always want to build those crazy backgrounds that pop and those transitions that are really, you know,
Hmm.
they are not just one color to another. They have a lot of effects and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And although those things are good to learn, and I also started by learning that, they actually don't improve the user experience.
Hmm.
They don't increase conversions. They just fool. They just fool people. Like um, and not and not even the right people. They fool the wrong people. Like if you they fool designers because they believe their design is amazing, but then at the end of
Oh,
the day, the design should be amazing and converting.
yeah.
So if you are just focused on how to make things pop and the copy becomes secondary and the offer becomes tertiary, then you are
Hmm.
doing a bad job.
Hmm.
um, and it fools clients that are not as experienced, because clients
Okay.
there are clients that choose based on what they feel. So if
Hmm.
they, just like for example, if you are going to pick or to buy a dress or a suit or sneakers or whatever, you are going to choose based on how beautiful they look, how amazing they look, right?
Yeah.
But then let's say that the dress is terrible as far as in experience. It's always itching or is always
Hmm.
putting you uncomfortable.
Yeah, the
Like
material.
you are, that's gonna be terrible. You're gonna go through the party like we are not gonna experience the party. You're not gonna enjoy it because the dress looks amazing. Everybody loves it and takes pictures and whatever. You like made amazing presents, but your experience, you just want to get out of that as fast as possible. So is
Yeah.
it also something similar with designing? You want to make sure that your design looks aesthetic, looks good, but always prioritizing the experience and the copy. So it's like copy needs to behave really really well, and then the design is just there to make sure that copy always performs. You see, so it's like
Hmm.
design is the assistant of the high performer.
Right. Yeah, you really beautifully explained that. That really is something because I see a lot of funnels and they're so nice, but I know somewhere they're not going to convert because the audience is not going to understand what's happening. So, and what the point that I liked is that because sometimes you feel like, oh, the client is not going to like that, and like it's going to be not good for the client, but also it's not good for the designer, for the person who is doing that, because as you said, it is also fooling them. So yeah, that's really amazing. Now, since you're talking about funnels in general, I guess you started in 2020, if I'm not wrong, your funnel designing journey.
So I I don't know exactly because I just stopped counting, but I started
Mhm.
learning about funnels around 7 to 8 years ago. I
Okay.
started learning about funnels. And
Mm-hmm.
then it was only 1 year later that I started to implement. And then it
Mm-hmm.
was a few months later when I started to go all in and try to get clients from there. So around
Uh,
2019, I would say.
2019. Yeah. So
2019.
from 2019 to now 2025, a lot of things has changed. How do you think, with respect to funnel designing or funnel building, industry, how things have changed from that time to now?
So to be honest with you, back then, people were looking for mostly funnel builders to build the style of pages that were popular back then. So
Mm-hmm.
straightforward TSLs, like sales letters. Okay.
Hmm.
Then a few years later, because a lot of people were building the same style, people were started looking for designs that would look better.
Hmm.
So they started to prioritize design as well. And then
Hmm.
afterwards, it's the exact same thing. Now clients are looking for better and better and better designs because of branding is becoming more and more important in the marketing,
Hmm.
the funnel marketing. It
Hmm.
ha- so like if you look at the website journey, like
Hmm.
from
Hmm.
15 years ago,
Yeah.
from websites, right? People had a website. It was ugly, no problem. It's functional.
Right.
And then as more and more people got websites, they needed to deliver a different experience because they needed to become different. They needed to stand out. So they started to prioritize beautiful websites.
Websites. Yeah.
So they started prioritizing that stuff. With funnels, it's the exact same thing. They started with the functionality, and then
Hmm.
as it became more and more competitive, then they started adding differentiating factors. One is design, another one is going to be all these different things in automations and customer support and blah blah blah, with the chatbots and with other different things as well, and different strategies and tactics. But at the end of the day, it hasn't changed much. It
Hmm.
hasn't. It's just what people are focused on that changes. Everything else, the fundamentals are the same. The fundamental is to bring people that don't know you to your environment to become clients. So, I have a very simplistic way of analyzing the market, but it's always been the same. We want to bring people that know us to start knowing us and then becoming clients. How we do it has changed, so it has pivoted. Some people wanted ebooks, and then they wanted the free plus shipping model was very
Hmm.
popular. Then
Yeah.
webinars became very
Hmm.
popular. Then digital courses became very popular.
Right.
Then high ticket became very popular. Then the membership, the
Yes, I
monthly
know.
recurring became very
Hmm.
popular. And before that, challenges became very popular.
Yeah.
So challenges and the memberships, and now challenges are becoming something good as well. But the strategy is pivoting, is changing, but the
Hmm.
essence is going to be pretty much the same. I don't know if I answered your question though.
Yeah, no, that completely makes sense. And a lot of people say like the similar thing, like everyone thinks or says that, like it has been because what happens is that the market is changing, although what people want still remains the same. They just want to
Yeah.
trust you at the end of the day. So that completely makes sense. But if we go a little deeper into this, the reason I'm asking this is because the industry is changing with respect to kind of its skepticism, kind of trying to because a lot of people tried during COVID era. Basically, a lot of people, like a lot of money came into the online industry, right? And that's
Mhm.
where all this industry boomed. But what happened is after lockdown ended and people also started socializing outside, and also they got like maybe the funnel is not working for me and all those things. So somewhere it happened that things are like people started getting skeptic to invest into in like the entire online thing. So has
Yeah.
that changed for you, or is it still going same?
So it hasn't, because at the end of the day, uh, when you see skepticism
Mm-hmm.
in funnels, or skepticism in websites, or skepticism in social media management, or skepticism in any product, like for
Mm-hmm.
example a weight loss product, you know skepticism comes when people have had bad experiences before, and they have a shield
Yeah.
to protect them to not having a bad experience again.
Hmm.
Some people are more reluctant to that change, others are less, right? So when you analyze that, um it's always about understanding the client, and the way that they think.
Hmm.
So it hasn't changed. Like, whenever I have someone that is skeptical about my funnels or my services or funnels in general, at the end of the day, we want to understand why, what was the experience that got them that opinion, or that
Hmm.
understanding, um, because they work. Like, imagine. The website industry like 15 years ago. The curvature was, like the innovators. They
Hmm.
wanted it, and then there was like 2% of the market that would buy. And then after the innovators started getting results, everybody was like, okay, I want it. It was the rush,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
The gold rush of websites. And then as everybody started getting it, everybody started to sell it. And when everyone
Hmm.
wants to sell it, you're gonna have people that know what they're doing and perform really well. You're going to have a lot of people don't know what they're doing. They are just pretty much exchanging a page through money, and that page is not going to produce results. So people are going to feel like burnout.
Right.
And then there's going to be people that are going to do that at a huge
Hmm.
scale. Like they're going to scam people out of tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So that has an effect, a negative effect in the
Yeah.
markets. So when something is in the gold rush for like 2 years, maybe 3 years, things start changing. So people
Hmm.
start protecting, and when people start protecting themselves, markets use different mechanisms to get people's attentions again. And it's
Yeah.
happening right now. If you take a quick look at AI, so
Yeah.
funnels, everybody knows about funnels, and people got burned out, people got results, whatever. So what are people that are not able to produce results? What are they doing? They are incorporating shiny things. They are incorporating, for example, chatbots a year ago or 2 years ago, or even like 3 years ago. Like they were incorporating chatbots. Why?
Hmm.
Because they were the new thing.
That's a new thing. Yeah.
Um, then what are they doing? They are doing automations, and then they are doing AI agents. Everybody is doing AI agents, right? It's the new thing. When people don't understand what it is, but they marketers promote it as the main thing and whatever, it's much easier to spend money. So
Hmm.
the market is always that. But at the end of the day, it's always the same thing. You want to get more clients, you want to get more results, you want to get a bigger return. So how you're gonna get that? It's going to be different from people to people, but funnels can perfectly do that for you. A personal brand can perfectly do that for you. SEO can do that for you. Websites can do that for you. Social media can do that for you. Email can do that for you. It just depends on how good you are at getting
Hmm.
that to happen.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. One more thing, since we're talking about this, as mentioned, like things still remain the same. But like, for example, as you mentioned, till 2015, 2017, websites were big because, everyone wanted their website. And I guess somewhere funnel took over from there because, now people are like, you just don't need a website, you need a page that converts and, gives you actual results. Now, what do you think is the next trend that you see in the industry? Like, this is the next big thing that is going to come up.
So it's definitely going to be around operations and software. That's what
Mm-hmm.
I see people, things moving towards. It's removing the necessity you know of having a lot of people in the operations. So AI agencies are going to be a huge thing. So anything that can help you save time and make it more automated is
Yeah.
going to be the next thing. But to be honest, probably like 3 years or even like 5 years to get there, like fully in its full form. Probably like around maybe 3 to 5 years. But that's going to be probably the next thing. It's operations and optimizations with automation.
Yeah, that
That's
makes
what I
sense.
believe.
Yeah, right now, because everyone is currently working very heavily on their CRMs. If I see, made the GHL or any other tool, like they are making their CRMs very efficient, and now they're also incorporating AI with that. So yeah, that definitely makes sense that that's going to be something huge.
Yeah,
Now,
and
yeah, sorry, go on.
no, I was just gonna say in all aspects, like for funnels, how can you? So essentially, how can you be faster in testing
Mhm.
stuff, right? So AI is going to be able to allow you to test faster. You just incorporate an AI agent, builds
Um,
them the structure, builds them the copy, gives them ideas, different perspectives into the marketing into. So it's like you can test faster, and when you have that ability, you can get to the what worked faster. So that's what I
mhm.
believe is going to change in the funnel game. It's your ability to test faster, to cut operations, and to get there, hopefully faster. But then again, it's going to take a while to incorporate all that stuff.
Yeah, that would be actually a great idea, I have personally not used AI agents much, but for funnels,
Mhm.
if we could do that, that would be super awesome.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
One of the things that I'm doing, just to close there, like one of the things that I'm
Uh,
doing right now is just the research part.
mhm.
It's pretty much everything is going to be around AI, and then I brainstorm from that.
Ah.
So you can get a lot of different perspectives on positioning, on the trigger points, on all that stuff about the specific custom avatar. So you create your custom avatar with AI, it gets you all the data. Then you need to know about the avatar as well, right? If you don't
Mhm.
know, you're going to do
Yeah.
pretty bad job. But if you know, you already have the library of stuff, so then you can create strategies, and then the AI can also give you a different perspectives and strategies as well. And then you just select and build, select and build, select and build. And then afterwards, you are there to analyze which one performed better, so that you can understand for each segment of your market which you know which strategy is getting you the best return from that. So implementation is going to be faster for sure. And but at the end of the day, the goal is the same. When people are going
Mm.
to hire a funnel builder now or a funnel builder in a year from now, it's going to be the same. They want someone that can enable them to create better returns. That's all businesses want. So if funnel builders that are possibly watching this interview or this podcast, um, it's all about being able to get that goal of your client. They want more results, they want better results, so you basically want to be the facilitator of that. And you need to become faster and faster and faster at doing it. And to become faster, it's not going to be more demanding. You just need to
Mm.
learn new tools. It's going to be the exact same thing. 8 hours a day working. You don't need to be a superhuman. You just need to learn how to use tools that the tools are going to be the ones inputting things faster. You just need to understand the data and implement it. Understand the
Mm.
data and implement it.
Awesome. Yeah, completely awesome. If you would be okay, can we dive into the AI thing more, like the thing that you're working on? Because that's very interesting, and I think any funnel builder that is watching, they would like to know more about it. I have not seen,
Yeah.
because I have seen, funnel building through AI. I have personally not used that, but like just designing is not enough. As you mentioned, customer avatar, you should know your market segment. That's when you can design. So can we deep dive into it and know more further about it?
Yeah, of course. Any specific topic around it that you like to talk about, or whatever goes to my mind, and we can start there.
So the AI thing that you mentioned, what exactly is
Mhm.
that, and how are you,
Okay,
building that?
sure. So basically, one of the biggest things around communication, it's knowing exactly what to talk about and which triggers to pinch,
Mm.
because at the end of the day, marketing is about emotions. It's about making people feel things, so that they move towards the right direction, right? Hopefully, if you have the
Right.
right product, they're moving towards the right direction. If you have a bad product, hopefully, sadly, that's not the right direction, but doesn't matter. So at the end of the day, it's like understanding what makes people move,
Hmm.
what makes people act. So if you take a quick look at what you can do with funnels, you can basically get all the data, or with AI, you can get all the data about your customer avatar. So
Hmm.
let's say, for example, that you are going for course creators or coaches, whatever you want to do, right? Um, the deeper you dive into the triggers,
Hmm.
the emotional triggers of that specific audience, the pain points of that specific audience, the more customized your message is going to look, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So if you are generic, you get the generic reaction. If you are very specific, people
Right.
feel that. Okay.
Hmm.
So one thing that you can do with AI is getting that specificity. Okay. So
Hmm.
create an avatar, go as deep as you want with AI, and then add that information in a spreadsheet and create content around each and one of those trigger points, right?
Hmm.
So for
Hmm.
business owners, saving time. Okay, what does saving time mean? Okay, it means having more free time for something. For some business owners, yes. For others, is being able to reduce costs, because if they save time, they save costs. For others, it means getting higher returns, because if they can implement faster, they are saving time. They
Hmm.
can implement faster. They can grow.
Hmm.
So three different things, three different directions. So three different trigger points. So
Right.
three different ways to speak or
Market it.
talk to
Hmm.
motivate your audience. And that's one thing that you can do, and then you can implement and send tons and tons of communications and personalized emails and all that stuff. And then if you add that information in a database, then you can send more customized emails. You can send them more customized offers. You can send them more customized funnels. So it's like it's a never-ending thing in that sense.
Yeah.
So summarizing everything to make it more interesting, have AI to help you build your customer avatar.
Hmm.
Display your customer avatar in a Notion or
Hmm.
in a Airtable or in a spreadsheet, whatever you prefer, and test different approaches, test different headlines, test different offers, test different sequences. And then from there, and by the way, another thing that you can test is the same offer with different titles of each module. That is going to be super important as well. And you can test different messages, different posts, different CTAs and all that stuff. So that's one thing that I'm implementing, is creating very detailed customer avatars that is going to allow me to refine my offer. That is going to allow me to refine my funnels. That is going to allow me to refine my positioning in ad creatives, in email headlines. That is going to allow me to refine my, for example, surveys, my form, my quizzes. That is going to allow you to personalize and customize a lot better.
Got it. That's interesting. So are you right now building that, or
Yeah.
how, like, is that in process right now?
Yeah, of course. So basically, one of the things that I'm doing is I'm creating resources, not just for me, but also to share with other people that might find interesting, um, to help them utilize AI as I learn AI. Right. So I've been learning
Yeah.
AI for the past 1 or 2 years, but now things are becoming really interesting. Right now, things are becoming really worth the time to explore. So how can we as funnel builders incorporate AI to make our lives easier? There's a couple of ways, or there's a few ways, but the few that I'm doing is one, um, getting more information faster. So more information, more specialized information, so that you can pick and choose what you prefer to do
Mhm.
today.
Hmm.
Learning faster as well, finding cool things to learn faster, and then to create copy faster, create content faster, to learn about your audience faster, um you know to create interesting things, whatever you are working for, faster. So yes, I am working on a process. It's based around sequences
Hmm.
of prompts, where you
Hmm.
use a few prompts to get the information with deep research, for
Hmm.
example, in ChatGPT
Yeah.
or others that you might want to use, and then from that, create specific messages, headlines, CTAs, offers, upsells, order bumps, stuff like that, and then test and move and test and move and test
Got.
and move.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to it for sure. Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
interesting. So now you have been in the industry for so long, and I'm pretty sure you would like to have a very long run. What are the things you think like has worked best for you? And
Mhm.
these are the foundations that you're never going to leave. And what you would like to give credit to throughout your journey.
But anything in any niche, or anything specific, or in general?
I would say in general, because right now, you design good funnels, you design amazing
Mhm.
funnels, but also you're an entrepreneur and you have built this, your business around, funnel building. So as an entrepreneur, if you have to say, what are the things that you would like to give credit to?
Okay, so I'm gonna make it into different boxes. The first one
Mhm.
is around being able to grow as a funnel builder, finding more opportunities. One of the
Hmm.
most important things as a funnel builder for me but also can implement for other funnel builders out there, was to be able to find opportunities to work for. So
Mm.
working with other people, working for projects, working for clients, working for agencies, working with partnerships. These
Right.
things are I'm really grateful for because allow me to have different challenges, different obstacles,
Mm.
and that has allowed me to see things in different perspectives and find different solutions to keep always moving forward. So that alone is a huge toolkit
Right.
for of growth. Then so that finding opportunities is very that you can test and work and learn, that's very very important. So learning how to do that, it's definitely one of the most important things. And the
Mm.
second thing, the second box, which also very very important, is knowing exactly what you are working towards. um,
Right.
Understanding what the daily routines you need to do that are going to enable you to get to where you want in the next 6 months or 12 months. So
Right.
working towards a specific goal was one of the things that changed completely the way that I was working, that I was building, because I'm a very creative person and I like a lot of different things. So
Mm.
whenever an opportunity approached, I was like, okay, let's do it. And then I had other things to do as well. So it's like, I need to balance. And then another one, another one, another one. They all were
Uh,
different perspective, all different things.
right.
So I kind of got scattered throughout
Hmm.
all I could do. So if you know exactly where you want to go and you have an opportunity, you kind of want to ask yourself, does this opportunity help me to move forward to where I want to go? If the answer
Mm.
is yes, go for it. Go all in. You never know what's happening or whatever know what's
Right.
expecting you. But if it deviates your attention, I would highly recommend not to do that, because you need to come back. It's just like, imagine that you are going towards point A to point B, and it's like
Right.
100 miles. You know
Right.
that you have like 100 miles journey, and if you go
Hmm.
always in the same direction, you're gonna go at like you're gonna take you 5 hours to get there, for example, right?
Hmm.
Now, if in between those 100 miles, at the first 10 miles, you have an opportunity and you need to go 30 miles down the line for the wrong direction, you still need to be here. So you
Hmm.
just need to find, you need going to be all around, and you're going to be exhausting basically, right?
Right. Right.
So knowing when you're going to go and when an opportunity arises, is this going to get me there? So this is
Hmm.
a good thing that helped with me or worked with me for a lot of different reasons. One, clients that enhance or clients that deteriorize what you are doing.
Hmm.
I've
Hmm.
done plenty of bad options or bad decisions to work with different clients that I thought would be cool, uh, but I didn't have, you know, that sense of, is this going to help me get what I want? And they obviously didn't, but I just went ahead and worked for with them. So that was very a terrible decision. So um, having that in mind is always super important, because at the end of the day, if you look at the market, there's 1,001 things you can do,
Yeah.
but ideally you need to pick one. So if you don't know what that one is and how to become the best at that one thing, it can be just design, it can be just copy, it can be just automations, it can be all of them. Like if you want to be great in all of them, like, okay, cool, you can. But it needs to be, one main goal, and then keep going into that direction. Okay, so I mean, those are the two things that I believe made most sense, and I believe were the most important. Taking credit for it, I don't know, I wouldn't put it that way, but I believe those were the most important things in my journey, and that I'm still working on that, because it's a hard task, but I'm still working on that, improving and becoming better at at those two different things. I don't know if I answered completely your question. It's
Yeah,
just
you did answer, and actually, I have a follow-up question with that.
sure.
You mentioned that, you have a goal that you have to reach, and then you decide, like that you take a path, and then you decide if you want to take opportunity or not based on, is it going to help you reach the goal? How do you decide your goal? Because it's an ever-changing thing. People say that, follow your journey, the journey should be better than the destination. So how do you
Yeah.
decide the goal that you or the destination you want to go to?
Right, that's a very good thing. Like, enjoy the journey, not the destination. But I believe that the the reason why people mention that is because if you are always focused on the destination, on the end goal,
Mm.
you are gonna suffer because you'll never get there, because the destination, it's always changing. Like for
Yeah, it's like a
example,
mirage.
when yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like I want to make my first $1,000. That's my destination.
Mm.
When I
Mm.
get there, $1,000 feels like nothing. I want to
Right.
get 5,000. When I get there, I want to get 10,000, 100,000, a million. So
Mhm.
it's like it's always changed because it's our, it's how
Right.
humans are, like most people, right? So that's why people say that's what I believe. People say enjoy the journey, not the destination, because if you're just focused on the destination, you are never gonna feel fulfilled because it's
Mm.
always changing. It's just like
Right.
imagine that you are waiting for something to say, oh, it's 5 minutes and it's going to be ready. Okay, cool. And then you wait for 5 minutes. Oh, it's just another 5 minutes. Okay.
Mm.
And it's that over and over. It never arises. So you have that feeling like you are waiting. And then when it gets to that deadline, it never is. So it's a very frustrating feeling. That's what the reason why I believe people say that. But to pick a destination is important
Right.
because you need to understand what you are working towards. So, for example, um, if you for example, if you want to become the best funnel builder in the
Mm.
world, you have that feeling like I want to become the best funnel builder. Okay, that's the destination. What exactly is for you being the best funnel builder in the world? Because that's super generic. What is the best funnel builder in the world for you? Is the one that designs the
Um,
better? Is the one that gets the better returns? It's the one
mm.
that um, I don't know. It's like it's the one that is more recognized, because you can be the
Mm.
best designer but not being recognized. You
Right.
can be you can be the best designer but not delivering the best conversions or the outcomes. Or maybe you can get the best conversions on one page, but maybe you are not good at other things or other niches. Like you can be the best designer or the best funnel builder for info products, but not knowing anything about physical products, or not knowing anything about network marketing or coaching or
Mm.
SaaS, whatever. Like you need to define what that means for
Right.
you, and
Mm.
most importantly, why the hell do you want to become that thing?
Mm.
That's still something I need to answer. I don't know why am I doing what I'm doing, but that's part of the process. But choosing a destination is that. For me, it's that. It's like knowing exactly what you are working. So, for example, right now I'm doing two things. I want to become the best at teaching other people on how to get to their first $10,000 as a funnel builder. That's one thing
Mm.
that I want to optimize as much as possible, to shorten the process, the time for people to get there. And then the second thing is I want to work with my funnel done for you funnel agency, or business. It's not an agency. I want to work with top 1% creators, content creators. That's what I want to do. So this is my destination. And then, okay, what does that mean exactly? What does
Mm.
that look like? I cannot tell you right here because that will be like 10 hours talking about that thing. But you have all these different things, all the different aspects, what you need to focus on, what you need to do. And then
Yeah.
you create a strategy. And then when you have that clarity, when you are working, when an opportunity arises, if that is going to enhance or
Mm.
dilute. Okay. I'm going to give
Yeah.
you an example just so it's very clear to everyone that is watching this. Even recently, like a couple months ago, I had an opportunity to to work like a partnership to build funnels for one of my clients. He will bring the clients, and I will build a
Oh.
massive amount of funnels, right? And there was good money, and there was good opportunity, work opportunity, but I declined it because that was not going to help me to either become top 1% in content creators, nor to become the best
Mm.
at helping people get results.
Right.
So, yes, amazing, good opportunity. It was good money, good opportunity, never ending work, awesome. But it didn't help me to get to my destination. So I
Right.
just said no. I wanted to say yes because it was cool, but I just said no. If it was something different, like I'm gonna bring you a client, creators, content creators, and then we are gonna help them grow. That's awesome. That's cool. Yeah, sure.
Mm.
That's gonna help me get that. Or I'm gonna, help. I want to bring funnel builders, and we are going to work on the process and help them grow. Sure, that's awesome. That's something that I would work as well. But other than that, it's just a big no for me.
That's very nice. It's like, because your gut always tells you that what you want, what you don't want, because it's so clear with your plan. It's just that on you if you want to listen to it or not. And yeah, that completely makes sense. Just one more thing, if we are talking about this, is it difficult? Like, I won't say difficult, but how does that process go? Like, because saying no to a good opportunity, saying good to no to a good money, because every time when I say no to an opportunity, if I don't feel connected with and resonated with, and it's not aligning with my goal, I feel like, should I have done that? Am I missing out on something? So that thought always comes up with this. So does that happen to you? And if yes, how does that go? Like, how do you cope up with that?
It does happen, and it's terrible. It feels awful because there's one thing about my personality, which is if someone asks me for help and I know I could help, I need to do anything to help. I even wrote about this a few days ago.
Mhm.
It's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing because sometimes I neglect my own goals to you know to be able to fulfill that. So that shouldn't happen, but it is what it is. So to answer that question, it feels terrible, but at the same time, you need to kind of find your own balance of meeting your goals and also helping other
Mhm.
people. So if and it helps if you have clarity on exactly if the destination is strong enough for you,
Mhm.
it's it's gonna be all good as long as you understand the why you are getting to that destination, how important it is, how that would mean. Because at the end of the day, imagine the following: imagine that you are trying to lose weight or become better fit or muscular or healthier or more agile, more whatever it is, right? You are trying to do that. Sure. Why are you trying to do that? Oh, because I
Mhm.
never want to suffer from back pain ever again. Okay, sure. So now hold on to that negative feeling, like I never want to suffer this ever again. So anything that you say no to that is not going to allow you to get there, to maintain it, is going to be strong enough. Because at the end of the day, you know that although you could have done it, or although you could have helped, or although you could deviate a little bit, it would not ultimately help you with your main thing that you want for your life. So that's how I try to cope with it. It's just like, okay, I said no, but it's for a reason. It's for a bigger thing. It's for There's one thing that one coach told me, was like to pay attention to Pedro from the future. So it's like, how is Pedro from the future going to feel like with your present decision?
Right.
And that puts things in perspective. If I of course you want to find a balance, right? But um if you are going to punch the wall, right?
Hmm.
You don't feel anything before, but how is it going to be afterwards in the future? And this is something
Mhm.
super super simple to understand because it's just in 10 seconds from now, right? But when things become like in a year from now, or 5 years, or 10
Mhm.
years, or 50 years, it becomes like there's an illusion of time that become makes it harder and harder because you feel like more empowered. Like, for example, let's say that I give you 30 days to make an extra 100,000. If you are not used to make 100,000, you feel like it's going to be impossible. I cannot do it. I want, it's impossible. But then I give you 10 years to make you 100,000. You start
Mhm.
making calculation. Okay, it's going to be 100,000, 10 years. I need 10,000 each year, right? Okay, I can make it happen. I can make it happen, right? But it's the illusion of time where the longer you have to get to that thing, the more capable you feel. But
Yeah.
if you look at the patterns, the only thing it changed was the illusion, because the ability of getting there, it just it's hard at the same. It's still hard, right?
Right.
So anyway, I digress. But it's that. It's like knowing why you are doing this, and knowing that in a year from now you have a goal, in 2 years from now you have a goal, in 3 years now you have a goal, and saying no to things that they are not going to enable you to get there, they are going to just make you lose time, it should be strong enough for you to uh, to be okay with your decision.
Can I ask you a question? And you can definitely say no to answering that. But
Mhm.
just popped in my head. Are you a spiritual person in your like personal, professional like life?
The answer to that is unclear, because part of me, I am, part of me has a hard time to rationalize that. So it's very hard for me uh, to find exactly where do I stand in that position, because there's times where yes, a lot. There's times that I don't feel as connected. It's a very tough subject for me in that uh, in that sense. But I don't know. The answer is like I'm still trying to find. I feel connected, but there's
Mhm.
moments where I feel disconnected.
Hmm.
I haven't found a solid or a specific, a specific answer to that.
Like that. Yeah. The reason I asked this is because what like the way you're speaking and explaining things and the your thought process kind of, it's like doing something greater,
Mhm.
for the greater good. And
Yeah,
it really connects the larger conscious, not just, like you're not just thinking about yourself, you're thinking about a lot of people.
yeah,
And that's where I got the question in my head. But thank you for answering
exactly.
that. We just have one last question for you.
Sure.
Um, you have, firstly, like this was amazing. Before I ask my last question, I have never felt this heavy during the podcast. I don't know why. It was some kind of connection. I don't know why. It felt really nice. The answers you gave, and the kind of epiphanies I myself get. Every podcast I get epiphanies, but with you there was something different. So yeah, thank you so much for personally for me as well. Thank you for doing this. One
Thank
last
you.
question that I have for you is that what are the three things like just imagine yourself as Pedro, who is just starting out in the industry. What are the three things you will tell that Pedro to make sure that he has it, so that the journey becomes little less difficult? Because I know there are
Mhm.
people who are watching us right now who would be just starting out in their funnel journey, or they're having a great journey, but they want to explore more and get better. So, what are the three things you would tell them and yourself in the past?
Okay. So the first is the pressure. So because I am an ambitious person, I want to achieve more. I want to not just in the financial side. Of course, I want to make more money, but I want that for a reason, because I want to to help my people more. I want to become better. I'm a little bit competitive as well, so I want to make sure that what I do is at the top level. Um, I would say don't feel the pressure of being the person that you want to be, to make you feel so anxious and so stressed out and all that stuff. So you have time for everything. There's
Hmm.
time for everything. You're gonna get there, but make sure that you prioritize the most important things, which is one, knowing what you want to become in the next year or two. Don't try to become like 10 years from now, just like in 1 2 years. What do you want to become? Who do you want to become? And find out what are the most important things for that aspect, and work on that every single day. Just make a habit of working on that without feeling the pressure. That's the first thing. And I know that a lot of freelancers feel this pressure as well, the pressure of making everything happen just like that, because there's no time. I'm late on this industry. Like, for example, like this week alone, I got dozens of people asking me, is it too late to join funnel building? Am I, is the market saturated? Should I do something else? I was like, no, it's just growing. You have time. Funnel building is not going anywhere, right? The same way that websites 20 years ago, like 20 years, 2 decades, they are not going anywhere. But it's fairly simple to fall for the I don't have time, I don't have time, because the marketing, the marketers, the gurus put a lot of pressure, a lot of FOMO, a lot of urgency. You need to do this now, otherwise you're never going to be that person you want to be. So don't cave in into that pressure. That's the first thing. The second thing um, is really consistency. One thing that and maybe this applies to other people as well, but I feel this struggle, which is because I'm a passionate person and I love doing a lot of stuff. It's easy for me to follow or to fall for the pivoting what I'm doing.
Mm.
So I build new offers before the offers are validated. I build new stuff before they are even finished. So it's like
Mm.
I'm always creating. So it's something that I'm becoming better and better at. But make sure that you finish what you started, even though if that is not going to be, what you expect. Just finish. Put an end to it. Like finish, and then if you use it, use it. If you don't use it, don't use it. No problem. But finish. End the chapters, because one thing, and this is also a little bit spiritual, but one thing that I realized throughout my life is that whenever I don't finish a chapter, that chapter seems to be always there to haunt me or to talk with me or to remind me of stuff. So I now try to finish the chapters, even if they tend to feel unfinished. I try to finish it. If I'm building a project or whatever, a course, for example, there's so many courses that I started that I didn't finish because there's something else, so I start something else. I have dozens of courses that way. So now what I tend to do is, if I started, it was for a reason. So I don't care if I'm going to use it or not. I'm going to finish the course. I'm going to finish this project. I'm going to finish this funnel. I'm going to finish this project. And then if I use it, I use it. If I not, it's there. Whatever, doesn't matter. So that will be also very important. Finish what you said you were going to do. Um, and lastly, you know, I don't have a third one, to be honest. I don't have a third one because these two, they cover a lot of stuff.
Mm.
Um it's consistency, knowing why you are working, what you are working for, saying no to the projects that are not going to allow you to become the person that you want to become. Say no, even though if they make you money, just don't do that. uh Unless you really need the money, of course. Like if you really need the money, just go for the money, like do work. Okay. But when you get financially stable, like when you get comfortable financially, work for the higher purpose. Work for really what you want to do.
Mm.
um and lastly, it's just people. People. Surround yourself with people that they want your best, not really to, put you, like make sure that you don't grow. I had ton of people in my life that they got what they wanted from me, and they did try to push me from growing, from becoming better. So don't be afraid of saying no to that, and of ending those relationships. Mostly it was professional relationships. So don't be afraid of doing that. Having conscious of really what is the circle of people that you want to create. You don't need to have tons of them, like just a few close ones, and surround yourself with people that you have your highest interest in mind, your best interest in mind, and not really trying to, um, you know, to to use you, basically. So these are the three that I would say. They cover a lot of stuff. And these are the most personal ones from my journey specifically. I don't know if anyone that are watching this resonate with any of these points, but you asked me what I would say to Pedro a few years ago, so that's what I would tell Pedro.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. Thank you so much for doing this, Pedro. It was amazing to have a talk with you. And I think we should schedule this another time again. I would love to talk about you with other things, not just funnels, but all other different aspects. It was lovely to have you, and thank you for your time. It was amazing.
Thank you.
I
Keep
hope you
up on your
enjoyed.
project. Absolutely. You're doing amazing. And these projects, they are really, really impactful. They are really important. So keep it up, and hope to see you, in the next project, in the next podcast as well. Thank you so much for
Definitely.
inviting me.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just